It's so wonderful. It's one of the reasons why I love this center so much, and so just so blessed to be part of an incredible group of people. So thank you. So I'll say good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Come on, keep it outside. Good morning, everyone.
Good
There we go. Come on, I thought I trained you guys better than that. No, it's always great to have the opportunity to speak, and also hello to all the folks that are on ACM gathering, and also for the folks who will be looking for this doing it's
A sticker.
a sticker on me somewhere.
On your arm.
Inside of your elbow there.
Oh, I have Chris's sticker on me. I don't know what that means, but hey.
How did that happen?
Who knows? Who knows? It's all good. It's all good. So it's great to be here, and as I said, it's always great to have the opportunity to speak, especially speaking today, since it is my birthday. So I'm very appreciative of that, and also want to thank Reverend Peter, who originally actually was scheduled to speak today, and then he actually offered for me to actually speak today. So thank you. I appreciate that, and always Reverend Kelly and Reverend Tony for being flexible to allow the changes to actually happen. So thank you. It's such a wonderful group of people. So really blessed and pleased about that. And so today I was guided, because I always listen to the Holy Spirit, and the Spirit always comes to mind of what they feel is necessary for me at this point, whatever's going on in my life that I would like to share and talk about. And for this one, it had to do with regarding voice. I wasn't sure if it was about me owning my own voice, or was it about me being true regarding my voice. I just wasn't sure exactly what aspect of voice, but I knew it had something to do regarding us having a part of our voice. And then the thing that kept coming to my mind is about not being afraid of our voice. Because a lot of times we are given, voices of a way of how we can express ourselves, but a lot of times we are held back for some reason. And in my mind, I was thinking, is it because of our own fears? Because we are afraid to speak our truth, because we're not aware of how other people may react to what we know that is our truth. And so we hold back. At least I know for me. I recognize that there are times that I actually do that, and so that came to my mind like, that is something to share and to talk about, because there are several situations in my life that's been going on that I'm going to be sharing with you guys regarding me becoming more true and more comfortable with owning my voice, and being really just being like, okay, it's all right. I don't have to please everyone, as long as I'm coming from the Spirit and speaking my truth, that is okay. And so there's several things that's been happening in my life that I'm going to share about. The one thing that the course says, which was the title of the reading, is I am among the minister of God. And the thing is, we all are among ministers of God. And I think for me, part of that means that they want us to express ourselves. They want us to put out messages that are healing, messages that brings love, messages that allow us to be able to learn how to forgive this world that we're actually in. That's our role, and that's what was given, to us. And I know for me, it takes a while to be able to be comfortable with that, to understand, like, wait a minute, are you sure you want to be out in this world to be able to, get that out? And then I'm like, yes. That's what the Spirit wants. And that is important for me to keep in mind and to remember that that's okay to put that out there. I am a minister of God. We all are minister of God, and we all are given a purpose and a role for a reason. And it's just learning how to accept that and to be actually okay with that. The Course tells us this. Whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice of God. It was selected by the voice of God, whose function is to speak for you as well, seeing your strength exactly as they are, and equally aware of where they can best applied. For what, to whom, and when. Who chooses and accepts your part for you? It was selected for us. And there are so many incredible quotes in the Course. And this one really resonated with me and really stood out for me. And the reason why it stood out for me is because I realized, and I'm starting to recognize that, in this world, I've been given the opportunity to get in positions where I'm allowed to share my voice, where I'm allowed to express my thoughts and my opinions, and specifically in leadership roles. At my job, I have the opportunity to give a lot of presentations and really speak around a variety of different issues. I was put to be in charge of what we call our racial humility committee, so we can make sure that our office is very much aware and keep the race on the forefront. It's like I'm giving that voice. It's scary because a lot of people in there are actually my boss and the directors, but yet I'm the one who's given this to be able, to lead this. And I recognize that, oh my God, this is tough. This is challenging. But I recognize that is what my role is, and that's what I was selected, for. But then the other thing is, which a lot of people know, I'm the commissioner of the San Francisco Gay Softball League here, and big commissioner of the league. Needless to say, people don't always agree with things that actually happen. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's just the way things work. And a lot of times in that position, I do have to find myself. I do have to be comfortable enough to express what I think my true voice is, regardless of what other people may think of the outcome is. We are currently in a situation that our league is going through that I've been, struggling with for the last few months. And Reverend Peter knows a lot about it because he also plays in the softball league with me, whereas we're part of the San Francisco Gay Softball League, but we also belong to this bigger organization called NAGA. And NAGA is an organization that hosts every year what we call the Gay Softball World Series. And NAGA actually has their own rules and policies of how, what we're supposed to do. And so when we send a team there, we have to follow that. But then San Francisco also has their own rules and policy of what we have here in our league. And so one of the big issues that's been happening, that's been, coming up, that's honestly been a very big pain in my, excuse my language, ass, but these last several months, is that, so one of the rules that NAGA has is if your team finish in the top 2, you have to move up to the next level. But then in San Francisco, our rule is if you finish in the trophy round, which is whether you finish first, second, third, or fourth, you have to move up to the next level. So that's the San Francisco rule. And while one of our teams at this last World Series finished in 3rd place, so therefore they have to move up to the next level. Well, needless to say, they're not happy with that. And they feel that the fact that we're not aligned with NAGA, that we should not actually have this in place. Whereas in reality, we are allowed to run our league the way it's supposed to be. And the thing that's been very challenging is the fact that we're constantly getting pushback regarding the decision that we are supposed to uphill. And so the chorus reminds me of this. He does not work without your own consent, but he is not deceived in what you are, and listen only to his voice in you. Listen to the voice in you, in us. With this situation, and which what I am learning and trying to, take in, as much as I possibly can, is I recognize part of the reasons why, for me, why I was struggling and having my own indecisiveness. Which way to go is because the team that it affects is a good friend of mine, who's, who team it is, and the team itself is very likable, but also this person is the vice commissioner of our league. So I'm the commissioner and they're the vice commissioner of the league. And so, so it's like, okay, wait a minute here. It's like the board made a decision, but yet he's the vice commissioner who coaches his team, and yet still fighting what the decision is for the, what the board had decided. And so it's just been a inner thing for me to figure out what is my purpose, what is my role, what am I supposed to do. And there were several times where people felt like, since I am the commissioner, that I should actually ruled what the board had decided. And in my mind, I had to ask for guidance and ask for spirit to ask me, what is my true voice? Where is it that I stand on this? And I know that whatever decision it is what it's supposed to be, regardless of what the outcome is supposed to happen. And for me to accept that, and I prepare myself because next week we have a big town hall meeting, and there's going to be a lot of people coming who's against the decision that the board has made. And it's for me at that moment to be able to be comfortable enough to express what my thought is. And the truth of the matter is, what my thought's going to be is several people are not going to like it. But I have to be okay with that and accept it, because that is about me finding my true voice, and I have gotten guidance from the Spirit of exactly what it is that I'm supposed to do. So that's what it is. It's just like us knowing and asking for that guidance and to know what our true voice is and be okay with it. And when we're okay with it, then whatever the outcome is that other people says, it's all right. And I recently had, this also reminds me of one of the big things that happens also in our lives when we're in relationships. As we know, relationships is a perfect opportunity for us to utilize the course in many ways. And we thought, at least I know, definitely, for me, whether that's an intimate relationship with friends, family, but it's a huge opportunity. But it's also an opportunity of where we get the opportunity to own our own voices in a relationship as well. Because I think a lot of times, at least for me, what happens is we want to compromise, we want to please the people that we are with, and we don't want to be true to who ourselves are. And so the course says this: God has joined his son in this, and thus his son becomes his messenger of unity with him. And for me, what has happened recently is, which was it was a big decision, is I decided to end a relationship I was in for 2.5 years. But the thing is,
surprise look.
yes, I know. But the thing is, regarding that whole process, even though it was a mutual decision, but when we were having that discussion, it was one of the first times that I can recall that I allowed myself to be true and honest of where I was, and not feel like I had to say, no, wait a minute here, how can we go about fix this? Oh my God, wait a minute, maybe I should change. Maybe I should be able to do that. But then I realized, and I still remember the conversation that we were having, because we had went away to San Luis Obispo for a wedding that his friends they had got married, and then on our way back drive, he wanted to talk, and so we start talking. I had an idea what he wanted to talk about, and I remember, in my mind, where the Spirit kept saying, you need to be true to yourself. You need to be open. You need to be honest. You need to not okay, just listen and not, say much. And so when he spoke and he said where he was at, then I spoke and said where I was regarding the relationship and what I felt, where I'm at in my life, and what was very important, to me. And then we realized that it was just we just was not a match. And then then they mentioned the fact that maybe we should take a break and all that stuff. And I did not hesitate, and I said I agree. It was like there was no doubt. There was no hesitation. It felt right. And the reason why it felt right is because I recall asking Spirit for guidance when the conversation started. And so it allowed me to come from my true self and not from my ego and of me being afraid of what the outcome would actually be. And it feels good. Yes, it's sad that the relationship ended, but it feels good because there's no doubt in my mind that that was the right decision at that moment. And to be able to be at that stage and at that point right now in my life, for me, it's remarkable. Because the old Vincent would have never done that. I'm a fixer. I like to fix things. I like to make things work. It's just like just the way I am. But no, in this situation, I didn't need to do that. And it felt good. It felt right to truly, truly listen to who I am. Then, of course, reminds us of this. We practice giving Him what he would have that we may recognize his gift to us. He needs our voice that he may speak through us. He needs our voice so he can speak through us. And this reminds me of another situation that's been going on that I want to tackle. Is, as some of you guys know, I'm a big sports fan, and specifically football fan. I'm a 49ers fan, even though they suck right now. but I'm a huge fan. But one of the big things that's been going on in the NFL is this whole thing regarding the national anthem, where people are taking a stand of kneeling instead of standing when the national anthem is happening. And it actually started last year when the 49ers quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, actually was the first one who actually decided, originally he actually sat, but then he started to actually kneel. And what needed to say, a lot of people in our society did not like that. They were very upset with what he was doing because they felt it was unpatriotic, they felt that he was un-American. This is like all these horrific comments that they, were made. But the thing is, if we are in a country that is supposed to give us the right to be free, to be able to express ourselves, how can you condemn someone from expressing the way that they are, what they're doing? It just does not make sense to me, and it just drives me nuts. And the other thing that really drives me nuts, when people say, well, I understand that they need to protest, but they need to do it in another way. I'm like, excuse me, do you understand what protest is really about? Protest is not by doing it the way that you think it should happen. It is done the way that we are guided to do. And the thing that I'm realizing is that I have not really voiced how I really felt about it. And how upsetting it is that people, not everyone, but a lot of people are paying so much attention to the whole national anthem that they're not really listening to what the deep root cause of the reason why it's happening. And the reason why it's happening is because the injustice that we continue to have in this society. And all they're trying to do is to bring awareness to that. But yet, because they're expressing it and because they disagree with it, it's not happening. And the thing that really bothered me, and I'm going to say it, is the fact that our President Trump specifically stated that he felt that they should get fired because of them expressing their voice. This is the leader of our country trying to censor people for being true to themselves. If we're going to heal in this world and really come together in unity, which we're supposed to be, then we need to get to the point where we are able to be true and honest to ourselves. And we're true and honest to ourselves when we're able to speak our truth from the Spirit guidance. That's what we're given. We will each and every one of us given this voice to be able to use. Does not mean that people have to agree with us. All it means is that we're coming from what we were supposed to come from. That's all it is. And for me, it is important for me to continue to remember that and to not to be afraid anymore. To be able to express how I feel about different situations and be able to bring that to light. Because I understand that when I'm able to do that, when we're able to doing that, what we're doing is we're doing our part of healing the wounds that exist in this world. And that's the beauty, at least for me, to keep in mind and to continue to do and to not shy away. Because I know at times I become uncomfortable because I'm like, hey, wait a minute here, how are they going to react if I actually tell them exactly how I truly feel? I know, for me, and I can understand from those players who kneeling down of what it's like to be a black man, African American in this society, and why it's important for us to show, to express in whatever way that we can. And yes, I'm all about expressing, but I am about expressing in a peaceful manner. I'm all about peace, and that's what's happening. And that's what I think is important for people to understand, is to put themselves and just imagine if you were in their shoes, and what is that like? And how much energy that takes out of us every single day. But when we're able to express ourselves, be true to ourselves, and not be afraid of our voice, that is a beautiful thing. And I encourage us to continue to remember that. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free. So we are free when we allow ourselves to be true to ourselves, not be afraid of our voice. And that's my thought.